187 until 200. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ أخذ الله ميثاق الذين أوتوا الكتاب لتبيننه للناس ولا تكتمونه فنبذوه وراء ظهورهم واشتروا به ثمنا قليلا فبئس ما يشترون. لا تحسبن الذين يفرحون بما أتوا ويحبون أن يحمدوا بما لم يفعلوا فلا تحسبنهم بمفازة من العذاب ولهم عذاب أليم. ولله ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. فاستجاب لهم ربهم أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى بعضكم من بعض فالذين آمنوا وأخرجوا فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيلي وقاتلوا وقتلوا لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلنهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب. لا يغرنك تقلب الذين كفروا في البلاد متاع قليل ثم مأواهم جهنم وبئس المهاد. لكن الذين اتقوا ربهم لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها نزلا من عند الله وما عند الله خير للأبرار. وإن من أهل الكتاب لمن يؤمن بالله وما أنزل إليكم وما أنزل إليهم خاشعين لله لا يشترون بآيات الله ثمنا قليلا أولئك لهم أجرهم عند ربهم إن الله سريع الحساب يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات.
Sayyid Ali, may Allah bless you, inshallah, protect you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, first of all, I would like to welcome all of you for the special program tonight we have for commemorating the martyrdom of Lady Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. And I would like to express my condolences to the Imam of the time, Al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan al-Askari عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم صل على محمد and all the followers and the lovers of Ahlul Bayt in the entire world, and you, my dear brothers and sisters who are present in IECOC, may Allah protect you and bless you, inshallah, and reward you for these mornings that you have been doing and we are going to be doing, inshallah, tonight for Lady Fatima alayhi salam. We're going to recite a few verses from the Holy Quran, and for those of you who would like to follow with us, it's going to be Surah An-Nur, ayah number 35, 36, maybe 37. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض. الله نور السماوات والأرض. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. المصباح في زجاجة. الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار. نور على نور. نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء.
ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال. رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار. ليجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله والله يرزق من يشاء والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
أحسن الله عليكم جميعا إن شاء الله. أحسن الله عليكم جميعا. Let's invite the Imam of the Center, Samahat al-Sayyid Moustafa Al-Qazwini, to the podium with a loud salawat, please.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين وعلى سيدتنا ومولاتنا فاطمة الزهراء أم الحسن والحسين وعلى سيدنا ومولانا وإمامنا وقائدنا الحجة بن الحسن المهدي المنتظر عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه وجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال. رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار ليجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله ليجزيهم الله أفضل ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله ليجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. In the Quran, there is a reference or references, different references to the dwellings, to the homes, to the houses. The Quran uses different terms. One of the terms is ad-dar. And ad-dar is mentioned in the Quran several times. Ad-dar is a reference to the dwelling, a home, an abode. تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. It's an abode. Sometimes the Quran uses the term منزل وقل رب أنزلني منزلا مباركا وأنت خير المنزلين. Manzil is also a house, a dwelling. And sometimes the Quran uses the term bayt or buyut. The plural is buyut. And the bayt has been mentioned in the Quran in several chapters. إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين. The very first house, the very first residence that has been established on earth is the one that is in Mecca. Mubarakan, a blessed place and a guidance for mankind. And in this chapter 24, Surah An-Nur, fi buyutin, in homes. It's not just a physical dwelling. Buyut here in this context, in Surah An-Nur, it's not just a physical structure or a dwelling or a building. It's more than that. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه. To be risen morally, spiritually. These homes are high. Though these homes are very simple and very humble. Very simple. The house of Ali and Fatima was the smallest house probably in the entire city of Medina. It was one room. The entire house was only one room. It's a very humble house. It's very small. But God, when He speaks about this house, He says, في بيوت أذن الله. God has willed. Adhin here means has willed. That these homes, this is the desire of God. This is the plan of God. This small and humble house has to rise. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه. So what are the characteristics of the house of Ali and Fatima? What is the beauty of this house? Why this house, though it is so small, tiny little house, but it is so important that God mentions this house from among many properties, many mansions, many homes. This house has been outlined by God, and it is celebrated and revered by God. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, when God sent the verse of tathir, purification, إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا for 6 months. After the Fajr prayers, when he concludes the morning prayers and he is on his way to his room, he passes by this house for 6 months and he stands there at the doorstep and he says, Ya Ahl al-Bayt, O the inhabitants of this house, إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. He repeats this verse for 6 months. And Muslims are watching him, the companions are watching him, the people of Medina. 6 months, every single morning, he repeats this verse to draw the attention that this house is a special house. This house is the most beautiful, the most productive house. Why? Let me share with you 3 points. Why the house of Ali and Fatima was the most and is the most beautiful until the day of judgment. No house, no property, no room, no building was able to rival the house of Ali and Fatima. No house. Number 1, the beauty of house of Ali and Fatima alayhim as-salam stems from the fact that it was filled with values, with principles, with ethics, with morality. The beauty of that house did not lie in the furniture or the decoration. It didn't have that much furniture. If you read the Jahiziyah, as we say today, the furniture when the groom and the bride, they get married, they have to buy something. They have to furnish their house. The furniture that Ali provided for Fatima's house was very simple. He had to go in the market and sell his armor, his shield, the dir, for 480 dirham, silver coin. And with that money was divided to 3 portions. One is the dowry. That dowry was divided into 3. He gave the money to the Prophet. The Prophet divided that money into 3 sections, 3 portions. 1 was the furniture. The 2nd was the dress for Fatima. The 3rd was the walima, the dinner of the night of the wedding. 480 dirham was spent on these 3 things. And historians, they come and they speak about that furniture. What type of furniture was purchased with this money? Very simple furniture. Very simple furniture. So the beauty of the house was not in the decoration or the remodeling or the furniture, expensive furniture. It was in the beautiful attitude and the beautiful spirit that Ali and Fatima carried in that house. That house, God says about it, أَذِنَ اللَّهُ أَن تُرْفَعَ وَيُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ. This is the decoration. This is the real decoration of the house. وَيُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ. God's name, God's attributes were being rehearsed in that house. The name of God was being rehearsed in that house. The house was filled with the prayers, with salat. How do you make your house beautiful? How do you make your house stable? How do you make your house thriving? How do you make house not boring, not depressing? The remembrance of God when the 5 daily prayers are performed by all members of the family. Not just the parents. Not just 1 or 2 kids in the house are praying and the rest are not. When the whole family performs the prayers. When the house is filled with dua. After the salat, after the prayers, there are taqibat. On Thursday night, if they can't make it to the mosque, they recite dua kumail. If they can, Friday morning, they recite Dua al-Nudbah. In other occasions, there are du'as, Dua al-Sabah, the morning supplication. The Quran is being recited. The Quran is being rehearsed in that house. The majalis, the remembrance of Allah and Ahlul Bayt. The majalis once in a while in your house, even if the majlis is small, even if the participants are so small, 5, 6, 7 people. But there is much barakah. It all depends not on numbers, on the spirit, on the quality, not the quantity. If shaitan is not inside that house, how do we invite the shaitan into our homes? This is not me, this is the Prophet. The Prophet says when music and songs are being played in the house, this is an invitation for the Satan to come. Keep your house clean. When wine and alcohol enters that house, this is an invitation for Satan to come. When drugs enter that house, then there is invitation for shaitan to come. When gossiping and backbiting, ghiba and namima enters a house, this is an invitation for Satans to join. Keep your house clean. Keep it clean. Your house is sacred. God says your house is the most sacred institution. Buyut, not only a physical building. Buyut is an institution. Surpasses physical building. An institution. Your house is sacred. Do not contaminate your house. Keep it clean. Nowadays, we try to keep the viruses away from our homes, from our bedrooms. The virus of sin and disobedience is the worst virus. These viruses, we go and we get the shots and we can protect ourselves. We wear the mask, we can protect ourselves. But with the virus of sin and disobedience and ma'siyah, it's hard to protect yourself. So this was the beauty of the house of Fatima and Ali. A house based on piety, on righteousness. The people of the house, they only speak the truth. They don't lie. The people of the house do not cheat. The people of that house were honest. The people of that house were peaceful. They have no arguments. They don't yell at each other. They don't scream. They don't raise their voice. When they speak with a humility. The kids respect the parents. The parents have mercy and love for the kids. It was a harmonious family. Nowadays, we think that I spend on the decoration of my house and I will find real peace. You might live with your partner, with your good partner, peaceful partner, in a small cottage, in a small hut, in a tent. And you may live happy. You may live in peace because you get along with your family members and you find the real peace. And you may live in a mansion with an abusive partner who does not respect his family members, his children or her children, and you don't find peace. You don't find stability. It all depends on our attitude. If you want your house to be good and peaceful, then we have to change ourselves. Change the way we think, the way we speak, the way we behave, the way we deal with each other. And try to invite God into your house, always. And nothing more powerful than iqamatul salat. Do not abandon the prayers. God said to Moses, He said to him, if your community of the Israelites, they want to be victorious against Pharaoh and his army, then وَاجْعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً. Make your homes qibla. This is the qibla. Not just the mosque or the temple. وَاجْعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً is a metaphor for establishing prayers and communication with God. Your bedroom, make your bedroom qibla. Pray in your bedroom, pray in your family room, pray in all other rooms. Your house has to connect towards God. وَاجْعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً. Keep the shaitan away from your house. No partying. Don't succumb to the pressure. Don't say my neighbors in this neighborhood, they have, birthday party, whatever party, Halloween party. What else we are having next? Christmas party. After the Christmas we have in February, what do we have? Valentine's Day party. MashaAllah, parties. And sometimes the person, he does not drink, but his son, his daughter, they invite their friends and they drink. Keep your house clean. Keep your house clean. That house becomes, the house that is clean becomes a peaceful place. It becomes your kingdom. Your kingdom. This was the house of Ali and Fatima, based on righteousness. أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ. From the first day, when they built the family, when they established the family, when they got married, their life was built on piety and righteousness and reverence for God. أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ. That was the first characteristics. The second reason why the house of Ali and Fatima was the most beautiful, because they were most beautiful. Because their spirit was most beautiful, because they got along very well. They matched each other. Today when we speak about matchmaking, what comes to our mind if someone wants to get married? When they think about matchmaking, first of all they think about the color. Are they both white? Are they both black? Are they both Khoja? Are they both Arab? Are they both Afghan? Are they both Persians or not? This is what comes to our mind first. The second thing, are they in the same financial status? Both of them are rich or not? The third one, education. The fifth one is what? I don't know. What else? You know better. And the family, they have to match each other, But we never speak about taqwa. This is the real compatibility, character, akhlaq. This is what keeps people together, believe me. You may bring someone from the east with someone from the west. They can live together if they have taqwa. But sometimes two cousins, they can't get along together if they don't have taqwa, if they lack honesty and piety. They cannot live together. Ali and Fatima, they were matched to each other, compatible. This is exactly what the Prophet said. The Prophet said, if God had not created a man by the name of Ali, Fatima would have remained single for the rest of her life. Because she could not find a compatible person in the entire community of Medina or the Arabian Peninsula or the whole world. She couldn't. لو لم يخلق الله عليا, this is the hadith of the Prophet, لما كان لفاطمة كفء أبدا آدم فمن دونه. No compatibility. No person could marry from Adam and down, go to the day of judgment. No one was able to be the right husband for Fatima alayhi salam. God created Ali for Fatima and Fatima for Ali. They were the best match. Not because both of them were rich. None of them was rich. None of them were rich. They were rich in their heart, in their faith, in their commitment. There was harmony between them. How do you make your home beautiful home, nice home, peaceful home? When the husband and the wife, they have commitment to each other. They sacrifice for each other. they respect each other. When respect is missing, the house starts to shake. When there is no appreciation for each other, the house starts to shake. But when they have commitment, this is the real love. Real love is when you have commitment to your family. Commitment to your family. You are willing to sacrifice. You are willing to put your family before yourself. You respect your partner. You don't put down your partner. You don't overburden your partner. This is the most important thing in the family, in the house. This is what keeps the family strong and healthy and vibrant. The understanding between the husband and the wife. When they are on the same page. When they try to understand each other and accommodate each other. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, during my life with Fatima alayhi salam, فما أكرهتني وما أغضبتني. Neither Fatima forced me to do something that I didn't like, nor she provoked me. ولا أكرهتها ولا أغضبتها. Neither I forced her to do something that she does not like, nor I provoked her. وكنت أنظر إليها فتنجلي الهموم عن قلبي. Whenever I look at the face of Fatima, this shining, radiant face of Fatima. One of the nicknames of Fatima is Zahra. Zahra, yazhar, from shining, from radiance, from the light, from the real beauty. Ali says, I come back home exhausted, tired. Ali was Islam's defense minister. Islam's defense minister. Whenever there is a quarrel, an argument, a fight, an attack, a threat, Ali is the first defense minister. Ali carries his sword 24/7 and defends the Prophet, defends the city of Medina, defends the community. Today, defense ministers and defense secretaries, they sit in the Pentagon. They don't go to the battlefield. They send the soldiers. They sit in their offices. But Ali did not have an office. Ali was in the battlefield always. So this man comes home, sometimes wounded, sometimes bleeding. But he says, when I see the face of Fatima, I forget my pain. Fatanjali. Tanjali means the suffering, the pain disperses, goes away, vanishes. فَتَنْجَلِ الْهُمُومْ عَنْ قَلْبِ. She refreshes Ali, empowers Ali by looking at her face. And Fatima did not wear makeup. Today, women spend a fortune on makeup, but still, alhamdulillah, the same. They don't change. Plastic surgeries and, do this and do that, alhamdulillah, the same. Fatima did not have any plastic surgery, alayhi salam. No makeup. Natural beauty. And natural beauty comes when your heart is beautiful. The reflection of your spirit and your heart on your face. Natural beauty. When the heart is clean, your face becomes the most beautiful. And your husband, your father, your children are going to be happy when they look at your face. Let's make a cosmetic surgery for our hearts first. Clean the heart, your life becomes beautiful. She shines for Imam Ali alayhi salam. At that time there is no entertainment. Today if you get bored, you turn on Netflix. Or you do something else. Imam Ali, his entertainment, his real entertainment, when he looks at the face of Fatima Zahra. She empowers him, infuses him with courage, with hope. He comes back home damaged, but Fatima makes the repairs. This is the first family. This is the noble family, when they sacrifice for each other. And of course, when Fatima sometimes was overburdened, Ali is there. And my friends, I've said this in the past. Ali and Fatima, they had hard time making ends meet. No enough food. No enough food. And that was a frequent, not occasional, not once in a while. Most of the days, there was no enough food at home. And Fatima did not complain, because she knows her husband is doing his duty, defending the community, defending Islam. They put Islam before themselves. Fatima detached herself from this dunya. She did not have attachment to the dunya. And if we can detach ourselves a little bit from the attractions of this dunya, we do the same. We become the same. We become powerful. We don't get sad for things that we miss. When we put the society before us, we become happy. But when I think always in terms of myself and my needs, 24/7, I think about my material needs, the needs of the dunya. I said the other day in the Friday prayers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the dunya, Ya dunya, at'ibi man khadamaki. The one who is attached to you, make him get tired. He runs after you and he's not satisfied. The one who puts the dunya first, he works for the dunya and he works and works and works, but his work has no end, because the more he gets, the more he needs. And God said to the dunya, وَخْدِمِي مَنْ رَفَضَكِ. The one who rejects you, the one who is able to resist you, you go and serve him. Serve that person. This is what Fatima did. Fatima and Ali, they put Islam first before themselves. This is why even when there is no food, they were not hurt. I heard this story from my father, my own father. My own father, 2 years ago. I said to him, Father, Baba, tell me some of these stories about your life and your family's life. He said, his father, Sayyid Muhammad Sadiq, told him this story. And the story goes to more than 100 years ago in the city of Karbala. He said, my father, which is my grandfather, who was killed in 1980, more than 40 years ago. He said, when I was 5 or 6, we came one day back, we came from the maktab. At that time it was not madrasa, they call it maktab. They teach them Quran and, reading and writing. We came back home, several kids, there was no food. At lunchtime, expecting that there is food to eat, no food whatsoever, no bread. Nothing, no rice. Forget about meat or chicken or vegetables or none of these things, or fruits. Nothing, not even a bread, not even a loaf of bread. And we were 3 or 4 kids. We are kids. We need to eat. There is no food and no money to purchase food. This is about when he was, this story goes back to 1905, 1906, 110 years ago, 115 years ago. He said, my uncle, they used to live in the same house, extended family, in the same house. He said, let's go to the shrine of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, next door. Let's seek refuge there. We are the neighbors of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Let's go there and see what happens. So he took us, the kids, our uncle, the uncle of my grandfather, he says, he took us and we went inside the shrine and we did a special prayers. This special prayers is named Salatul Ja'i', the prayers of a starving person. Special prayers. You recite special dua. Alhamdulillah, none of you are starving here. None of you. This is why we don't do these prayers anymore. But in the past, they used to do these prayers. So we stood, our uncle stood there and he is leading the prayers and we are behind him raising our hands and praying, "Oh Allah, we are hungry, we are starving, have mercy on us." We concluded the prayers. He said, "Let's go back home now." We did what we can. We came, we prayed, we leave the rest with God. He says, as soon as we left the haram of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, at that time, the market and the shops were so close to the haram. I remember this vividly. I remember our home was almost attached to the haram. And there were markets and, shopkeepers. He says, my uncle was leaving the gates of the sahn of Abu al-Fadl. A shopkeeper called on him, Sayyid, come here. I have something for you. So he went to him. He said, 3 months ago, you did nikah. You officiated the wedding for some people. They didn't give you money. They gave me the money. They said, if you see the Sayyid, give him this money. This is your money. Can you imagine? So he says, my uncle immediately, he took the money and he purchased, because he's a baqqal. This man is, shopkeeper, supermarket, small supermarket. He purchased the rice and the meat and whatever from him, and we went home. But this is what my father was saying. He was saying, despite our starvation, we were happy. We were not angry or frustrated. The stomach is empty, but we were satisfied. We had qana'ah, satisfaction. Today, my friends, we are full, the stomach is full, and we are still hungry. We are still angry. We are still not satisfied. We are still not happy. We still need more and more and more and more. This is the difference. The house of Ali and Fatima was empty, but Fatima was smiling and Ali was shining. And even the kids, Hassan and Hussein. This is a story mentioned here, not a fairy tale. Story mentioned, chapter 76. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Chapter 76. ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا. For 3 days. The other day a physician was telling me, Sayyid, I cannot. I'm a physician. I go by science. No one can survive with no food for 3 days. I can't believe in this. I said, okay, this is Quran. This is not a hadith. You refuse. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ. They give their own food for the sake of God, the love of God, for the sake of the love of God. عَلَى حُبِّهِ. مسكينا, a destitute, وَيَتِيمًا, an orphan, وَأَسِيرًا, a captive. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. This is the Quran. This is your Lord. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Can someone today cut the sea into 2 pieces and he walks inside the sea? Can do something? Someone can do this? Nobody. But it happened. It happened. Can someone today go to a cemetery and say to a grave, a dead person inside the grave, 6 feet under, قم بإذن الله, and the dead person stands? But Isa did this. Miracles, it happens. For 3 days, those kids never complained. They gave their only food. Each night, at the time of breaking their fast, and they did not complain, and they were happy. Not that the mother took the food from them by force. They donated. They contributed their own food with happiness, with gratitude. With gratitude. This is a beautiful family. When they put their values first. If you want to be happy, put your values first. If you want to nag and complain, put yourself first. When we put ourselves first, we keep complaining. We are never satisfied. And the third and the last characteristic of the beauty of this house is that it was an institution to raise strong generation. Ali and Fatima had 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. And the reason why they got married, one of the most important reasons, is to raise good children, noble children, virtuous children, is to raise leaders. Some people get married and the most important thing for them is the kitchen at home. This is the most important thing at home. I know some men, the most sacred place for them at home is the kitchen, because they eat and eat and eat. Food is number 1 priority. This is why the kitchen is the most important part of the house. Food. Some of them, maybe the bedroom is the most important because they have other things, other priorities in their mind. Some of them is the family room is the most important because they want to escape loneliness. They want to enjoy conversation, being around others. So this is the most important part of the house, the family room. Ali and Fatima, the most important thing for them, the most important goal is to raise virtuous children. Children with strong character. And they succeeded in that. Why they succeeded? Because they were the first teachers for their kids. Today we fail as parents because we are not good teachers. But if we are good teachers from day one, we are good teachers, we set the example for them, they follow us. There are rare cases where children do not follow. The example of Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh was a good father, but his son decided to go in a different direction. There are some examples. Or Nuh himself was a good husband, but the wife, she decided to have her own choice. She didn't follow him. The same thing with the wife of Lut. But mostly, if the parents put their trust in God, they can build strong family. It's an institution of character building. This is an amana. Our kids are the most precious gift that God has bestowed on us, your children. Show them love, show them care, and show them the right path, and be patient with your children. Be patient with them. Be humble before your children. And wait. Sometimes we think that the result comes tomorrow, the following day. The results do not come immediately. You have to wait. And you've seen in your family, in your community, examples of some parents who are struggling, who are suffering because of their kids. But later on, God rewarded them for their patience. We have to be steadfast. This is our mission in this life, to raise good family. Whether you have 1 child or 10, you are a leader. You are responsible. Before God, you are responsible for those kids. Character building. This is the job of the family. Family is not, do not reduce your family into a kitchen. Food can be, you can find it outside. In the family, you may do things that are not found outside, only within the institution of family. This is a sacred institution. I just came last night from the East Coast, and I was at a city on the East Coast. Someone said to me, within the last 3 months, in our small city, and the community is not that large in that city on the East Coast, he said, we lost 3 of our young ones they committed suicide. Muslim community, 3 within the last 3 months. Something is wrong. Someone who takes away his life, this is not an instant decision. He doesn't go to bed in the evening and he decided in the morning, I'm going to take my life away. No, it's not like that. But sometimes we don't observe, we don't pay attention, and we do nothing about it. When you see a sign of someone who's confused, someone who's lost, someone who's suffering, it's your duty as a father, as a mother, as a neighbor, as a family member, as a community member, as an educator, to step in and to save and to do something. And these things are happening nowadays, my friend. It's on the rise, believe me, it's on the rise. Young people go to bed, they don't wake up in the morning. It's happening because they reach a point, and I hope no one would reach that point, a point of despair, a point that they see there is no value, no reason for them to live anymore. It's a mental illness, and it has to be addressed. I said in the past that every Islamic center should be a community center, and we should provide counseling, family counseling, youth counseling, mental health counseling. We should provide. It's not just for prayers or Quranic recitation. It's for service too, to help your community members. We haven't done that, unfortunately. But this is what we must do, to reach out to the young generation, to reach out to them, not to abandon them. This is the core of our message, to empower our young generation. The house of Ali and Fatima was the most beautiful, despite the hardships. And the hardships and the challenges did not stop even after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This house was under attack by the forces of darkness, by the forces who did not want to see this light shining from that house. Jealousy, I am going to speak about jealousy tomorrow in the second Friday sermon. Jealousy is the worst disease and the oldest disease in this universe. Even before Adam and Eve came down to this earth, jealousy did exist. When Satan said to God, what did he say to God? خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. I'm not going to bow down to Adam because I'm created from fire and he's created from dust. And fire is better than dust. This is jealousy. This is arrogance. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says the genesis for disbelief is hasad, is envy. Is envy. This is the genesis for disbelief, and he gives the example of Satan. Satan, who used to worship, who was in the ranks of the angels. He infiltrated the ranks of the angels, and now he disobeys God. Why? Because of envy. The same reason they attacked the house of Ali and Fatima. Some people didn't like this house. They wanted to extinguish this light. And I don't want to go through that. Many of you, all of you almost know what happened to the house of Fatima after the departure of the Prophet. Still, the Prophet is not being buried. And that house was attacked. And Fatima gave miscarriage to her baby boy Muhsin. And as a result of these injuries, she sustained many injuries. She was bedridden for several months until the night, like tonight, arrived on the 13th of Jumad al-Ula. She realized that she's leaving this world. So she said to Imam Ali alayhi salam, I want to be alone with you because I want to share my wasiyah, my will with you. So she asked Fidda to take Hassan and Hussein, Zainab and Kulthum outside the house because it's one room and she does not want them to see their mother. Their mother dies before their eyes. And she does not want them to listen and hear what she's going to tell her husband Ali alayhi salam. She said, Ya ibn al-am, idha qadaytu nahbi. Once I die, and I am going to die soon, فغسلني وكفني وحنطني بفاضل حنوط أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. I want you, the one, to wash my body and shroud me and pray over my body. يا ابن العم ولا تشهد جنازتي أحدا من هؤلاء الذين ظلموني ولا من أشياعهم وأتباعهم فإنهم عدوي وعدو الله. I don't want any of those who abused me and they were cruel to me, those who attacked my house, those who killed my baby boy. I don't want them to attend my funeral. They are the enemies of God and my enemy. يا ابن العم وادفني بالليل إذا نامت العيون وهجعت الأبصار. And I want you to bury me at night when people are asleep and no one is there around. وعف موضع قبري. And I want you to conceal the location of my grave site, my grave. I don't want them to come even to my grave after my death. يا ابن العام وتعهد قبري بقراءة القرآن فإن الميت يأنس إذا حضر عنده أهله. And I want you to come to my grave site regularly and recite the Quran when you come to my grave. Because the deceased will be delighted when he sees his family members gathered around his grave and reciting the Quran for him or her. يا ابن العم وتعهد قبري بقراءة القرآن فإن الميت يأنس إذا حضر عنده أهله. يا ابن العم وتزوج من بعدي ابنة أختي أمامة تكون لولدي مثلي. And I suggest for you, if you wish, if you will, to marry my niece after me, my niece Amama, the daughter of my sister, because my kids Hassan, Hussein, and Zainab and Kulthum are attached to her. They love her. And she will be a mother to them after my departure. When Fatima alayhi salam died, Imam Ali was holding her head. And the news broke in Medina. So the whole city convulsed with sorrow, with pain. People came. Men, women, they gathered in front of the masjid of the Prophet because the house of Ali and Fatima is inside the mosque. So they gathered, the entire population of Medina, waiting for the funeral to take place. Abu Dhar al-Ghifari came out of the house, and at the orders of Imam Ali, he said, لَقَدْ تَأَجَّلَ تَجْهِيزُ فَاطِمَةٍ. The funeral of Fatima has been postponed, so you may go home. When people went home and night fell, Imam Ali alayhi salam with only 7 people, Salman al-Farisi, Ammar ibn Yasir, Hudayfah ibn al-Yaman, and Al-Abbas and Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, only those seven loyal people, very loyal, those people remained. Imam Ali washed her body, shrouded her, and then they carried the janazah, only 7 people with Imam Ali and Hassan and Hussein, to her last destination, to her grave. When they put the janazah next to the grave, Imam Ali alayhi salam turned to Abu Dhar al-Ghifari. He said, Uncle Abu Dhar, Aba Dhar, خذ بيد الحسن والحسين وعد بهما إلى الدار. Take the hands of Hassan and Hussein and take them back, please, home. I don't want them to see how their mother is being buried. And then when Abu Dhar took the hands of Hassan and Hussein, the others who were standing there, Imam Ali said to them, ارجعوا لا حاجة لي ببقائكم. You can go, you may go now. I will bury Fatima by myself. They left. When they left, Imam Ali carried the body of Fatima himself alone, and he puts her in her grave, and then he turns to the grave of the Prophet. He says, Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah. عني وعن ابنتك النازلة في جوارك والسريعة اللحاق بك. I greet you, Ya Rasulullah, on my behalf and on behalf of your beloved daughter Fatima, who hastened to join you, Ya Rasulullah. قل يا رسول الله عن صفيتك صبري. My patience for the departure of Fatima has been exhausted. وَرَقَّ عَنْهَا تَجَلُّدِي, and my power of endurance has weakened. Ya Rasulullah, أَمَّا حُزْنِي فَسَرْمَدْ. As to my sadness, it is perpetual. My sadness for the departure of my sweetheart Fatima is endless. وَأَمَّا لَيْلِي فَمُسَهَّدْ. As to the nights, they will be sleepless nights. أرى علل الدنيا علي كثيرة وصاحبها حتى الممات عليل وإن افتقادي فاطما بعد أحمد دليل على ألا يدوم خليل. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.